call to order this meeting of November 1st, Monongalia County Commission. Please note for the record that all commissioners are present. If you would, please rise for a moment of silent meditation and the pledge to the flag. Thank you. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, consent and approval. Colleen is sitting in for Renetta this morning as we have sent her to Harrison County as our representative for a meeting regarding legislative intent. So, Colleen, good morning.
Good morning. There are 11 exoneration listings for $4,164.52. There are no minutes at this time to be approved. General county vouchers in the amount of $69,154.51. Coal severance in the amount of $102.45. 911 cash $10,237.60. Chestnut Ridge Park $5,670.61. Camp Muffley $3,254.53. Law enforcement forfeiture $4,081.85. Purchasing card vouchers for General County $68,666.48. Magistrate Court $72.02. Chestnut Ridge Park $154.14. Camp Muffley $83.87. Mason-Dixon Park $26.77. Assessor's valuation $530.40 for a voucher total of $162,035.23. There are no budget revisions. Position vacancies and boards: Board of Zoning Appeals, Planning Commission, Historic Landmarks Commission, Abandoned Dilapidated Property Enforcement, Deputy Sheriff Civil Service Commission, Camp Muffley Advisory Board, Clay Patel Public Service District. And then there are the fiduciary orders for November 1. And there's an approval of services as well. And then itemized statement of services for Lynn Crane and George Armistead and Cynthia Van Stafford. And there is also an objection regarding final accounting for the estate of Elaine Hindman Matheny.
Okay, we'll handle that separately.
Right, I'll move forward, everyone except the Matheny.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded for approval. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Now we'll discuss the single fiduciary orders.
In looking
There's
at-
one noted objection. Yes, go ahead.
There is an objection, however, after reviewing the materials, I don't see anything that would warrant us to send it out. I believe that it was done clearly and correctly, so I move to accept the report.
Second, been properly moved and seconded for approval of this. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Introductions of new employees. Sheriff Palmer, I believe you're up first.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
Come on over here, buddy. I'm presenting you with Daniel Ryan, who will be starting for us effective today as a process transport full-time downstairs at a beginning monthly salary of $2,432.
Move for approval.
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded for approval. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Welcome.
Thank you.
Nice to have you.
Well,
Thank you, Sheriff. Do you have any other introductions, Sheriff Palmer?
I do not.
Okay.
Ms. Prosecutor.
Okay. Our prosecuting attorney, Ms. Christopher.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
This morning, I'd like to take the opportunity to introduce you folks to Carl Straley, who is going to be our new investigator in our office. Carl is a retired state trooper, spent a good portion of his state police career stationed here in Morgantown and probably Fairmont, between those two districts, and so he certainly knows the lay of the land, and we are really going to get a great benefit from his being here with some additional supervision requirements within the prosecutor's office regarding some deferred prosecution and some outstanding cold case investigations. And so we feel very lucky to have snatched Carl to be an employee in our office.
Move for approval. What's the salary, though?
It's a part-time salary at $28,000.
Second.
It's been properly moved and second for approval. All in favor? Aye. Okay, thank you and welcome.
Thank you for
Did you
your
work with
previous
Mike Keith?
service and welcome.
For a little while, yes.
He's
No,
my neighbor, so yeah.
Yes. He'll know.
He got moved up to Willie.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have any other introductions of new employees or personnel changes? Hearing none, we'll move on to comments from the public. We're now open for comments from the public. Yes.
Good morning, Commissioners. Travis Henline with Main Street Morgantown. It has become apparent to me that we have become somewhat lax in our communication with the Commission about some of the things that we have been doing, some of the things that we plan on doing. So just to let you know, it is my intention to come before you periodically to give you updates on things that we have been working on and things that we hope to be working on. But just by way of review, I submitted yesterday for your reading some of the things we've done in recent months. We are, of course, an events-driven organization, and recently we sponsored the annual Arts Walk, which again this year was very well attended and does a great job in getting people to our downtown and into our businesses. We also worked with WVU to host the International Street Festival, which was held here on the block outside of the County Commission, which we have the ability to shut down and have such events, and we hope to do more events in that block forthcoming. Also, projects, we worked with the city to get the new lights in place. We helped do the research for that. We ordered the sample light. We were adamant in following through that the lights go up, and I'm very thankful to the city for working with us on that, and also to Paul for his help in facilitating that and finally getting that in place. We are seeking always to improve the aesthetic of our downtown, so we recently put up a new art mural on Wall Street, and that's our intention to have several more. We are seeking to do artistic wraps of our solar compactors, similar to what we did with our utility boxes, if you've seen those on Pleasant and Fayette and Spruce, but to enhance the aesthetic of our downtown, work with the Urban Landscape Commission on plantings and various other ways of enhancing our aesthetic downtown. We've been trying to have continual conversations and communication with our business and property owners downtown, so we have been holding what we call initially business community conversations. Now we're calling those business mixers. That seems to get more folks out when you call it a mixer for some reason. And so we have people get together in an informal atmosphere and talk about issues and opportunities and how the state of things downtown when it comes to our business and property owners. And we are going to hold those every few months, and we're going to do those in downtown restaurants. But some of the things that we have forthcoming, just so you know, we have Small Business Saturday, which is a big day for us coming up here in November. Also, we are working with the city, and Paul and I have had some discussions about facilitating outdoor dining. We want to see more people, more restaurants have some tables and opportunities for outdoor dining. We want that atmosphere where people can eat outside. Obviously, we are limited by the size of our sidewalks, but you can put some two-top tables out in several locations. And so Paul and I have talked about the application process for the permit and also the ordering of the tables, which by ordinance has to come through the city or a designated representative. And Main Street Morgantown would like to be that designated representative to facilitate outdoor dining. And we hope that by May, and I've talked to all the restaurants, and by and large, almost all of them categorically are on board. If they have an opportunity to do it, if they're not challenged by the topography and the slope where some of them might be located, all the others that can have it want it, and so we're going to help to facilitate that so we can have that atmosphere of outdoor dining in our downtown. We're looking to increase the number of our events. Again, we are an event-driven organization, but we want to have not only the larger event that we're planning for June, which is a music festival in our amphitheater, but smaller scale events that happen more regularly. in particular in the block that we have the ability to shut down here. But also, we're looking forward to the completed Courthouse Square, and hopefully maybe Wednesday nights when the weather is nice in the summer, maybe we can have some music on the Courthouse Square. Things of that nature, smaller scale to get people downtown. But also, while I'm on that point, we hope, let me submit this for your consideration now, we hope that if things are finished according to schedule, as we did last year, we'd certainly like to have a community Christmas tree on the county courthouse square. It's my understanding that there's now a sleeve to receive a larger tree, and we want to make that an annual event. Last year we just kind of put up the tree, but we want to have people come out. We want to do a lighting of the tree. We want to make it a community event and make it an annual event. So we're happy that that's in place, and hopefully we will have the opportunity to do that. We are also going to be pursuing an upper level inventory of our second and third story properties downtown, with the intention of finding out what properties have the ability or the opportunity to become residential offerings, because we want more people to live in our downtown. And the first thing to do is find out how much of an opportunity there is, where it is, and then later think about how we can work with those property owners to facilitate some more residential offerings in our downtown. We want more people living downtown. Also, continuing to work on safety issues for our downtown. Thankfully, the city has begun the removal of the tree curbs around our trees, which are an absolute tripping hazard. Those have begun. There's a phased removal process, and that's taking place. And so we're happy to see. We want, the buzzword is walkability. So we want a pedestrian-friendly downtown that people can navigate in safety. And also, we want a clean downtown. And we have spoken with the city, and Paul and I and Charlie McCune had some conversations about if there's a possibility to adjust staffing so that there's folks to clean the sidewalks, in particular on Saturday mornings and Sunday mornings when they need it almost the most. Certainly after late nights in our downtown. But those are some of the things we have been working on. I will also mention that we have a new mobile app. If you go to the App Store and look for Downtown Morgantown, we have a very user-friendly mobile app that we hope that you download and check out periodically as a way to get some information about what we're doing. And lastly, on a personal note, I had worked with the Center of Service Learning at WVU a couple weekends ago. And this particular project was called Hidden Stories of Morgantown. And so one of the greatest, most important least known historical figures in Morgantown history is Waitman Thomas Willie. And so I worked with the students. I had about 12 students, and we went to the regional history collection, saw some of his materials, some portraits, some other items of his. We came down and were able to, I worked with the attorney across the street here to get into his former law office, which is right there. It's always been there. Amazingly, it's been an attorney's office almost always in its entire history across the street here. But also, I was able to arrange to see his home, which, as you know, is down across the South High Bridge. You take the first left and then the first right, and it's right there. There's a bust of Willie out front, and the state has recently put an historical marker outside the home as well. It's for sale if anybody's interested. It'd be a great museum, County Commission. But
It's in the city.
yeah, I understand, yes. But I submit that to you just because I understand that part of our courthouse renovations would be to place statuary. So Patrick Henry, I believe, has gone outside there in the little alcove to the right as you come in. But I submit to you, this is just a personal thing, because I was on a commission in Wheeling to get a Francis Pierpont statue, because we had 3 Stonewall Jacksons, not saying that, no judgment whatsoever, but there were 3 Stonewall Jackson statues in our state, but not one to the father of our state, Francis Harrison Pierpont from Marion County. And so we rectified that. We made sure that we pursued that, and he now stands outside of Independence Hall in Wheeling. Similarly, Commission, I would someday love to see somewhere in the city, and he so rightfully deserves it, a statue of Waitman Thomas Willie, who is, you would not be a West Virginian without Waitman Thomas Willie. He introduced the statehood bill. He wrote the Willie Amendments, which made our Constitution palatable to Congress and to Lincoln. Otherwise, you would not be a West Virginian. That's not hyperbole. That's not an overstatement. You wouldn't be a West Virginian without Waitman Thomas Willie, right here from in Morgantown, our greatest historical figure that nobody knows anything about. So that's it. Any questions, Commission?
Thank you.
Just a couple of comments on the Courthouse Square. Originally, it was scheduled for 12/13. We're ahead of, that's 42 days from now, but I believe we're still ahead of schedule. We had a little bit of a bump with one item, but I think we 2 or 3 weeks ahead of schedule, maybe, Bobby? Maybe, depending on the weather.
Right, yeah.
So I know we
Before the end of the year.
sabotaged a lot of the events that you had planned over the summer, right after you had came in and we approved them, and then we let the contract, and it's like, whoops, we forgot about that. So I apologize for that, but
Thank you,
we all are looking forward to the Courthouse Square opening, so it can be
We think that would be
utilized.
a great space to engage with some events.
Yeah. And the statue you're talking about, I rode by that for years, and my youngest always says, "Who is that? Who is that?" We just thought it was a person that lived there that was fond of himself. But
No, sir.
I appreciate the history lesson on that,
Yeah,
too.
well-
Now I know.
Well, I mean, the intention of this Hidden Stories project was that the students took pictures and took notes, and they have since put it out on social media. They're going to do a piece for the DA, maybe for the Dominion Post, and for Zackwell.com. The idea is that his story is not hidden anymore. So,
Well, thank you.
thank you.
Thank you very much. Are there any other public comments?
Good morning, Commissioners. My name is Paul Brake. I'm the Morgantown City Manager. I spoke to you not that long ago and promised that I'd come back periodically to give you updates. And so I do have an ask of you as well as giving an update. So making a request.
You are scheduled for, just not to interrupt, you are scheduled for work session at 10:30.
Oh, I am. Okay,
Yeah.
I
And I
apologize.
appreciate it because I think
It's,
this, yeah.
yes.
Okay.
that's-
We have it just for you.
Yes.
Well, let me wait, and I will come back. So I look forward to my presentation at the work session at 10:30.
So do we.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but that wasn't, that,
Yeah.
you are scheduled at 10:30 for work session.
Okay.
Okay? Thank you. And as well, Travis, in the future, you're more than welcome to be scheduled on the agenda rather than to be put into a position of public comment. We look forward to seeing the Christmas tree Hanukkah bush. Okay? So, thank you. Are there any more comments from the public? Hearing none, we'll close this portion and go on to grants. Colleen, do we have grants?
I do. I have 2 applications for the Records Management and Preservation Board grant. They're both from the county clerk. The first one is in the amount of $15,340 with a total of $16,874. And the second request is for $70,604.55 with a total amount of $77,665. And then I also have a resolution of support that I will need for you all to sign.
Okay.
Would you like me to read that?
I don't think that'd be necessary.
Which resolution is it?
Which resolution is it?
It's a resolution of support, saying that we support what they're wanting to.
The grant application.
The grant
Oh,
application?
oh,
I
okay.
don't think that's
No,
necessary.
that's fine.
Okay. Those are the only 2 things I have.
Move for approval.
Second.
Been properly moved and second for approval. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Thank you both. Okay. Sheriff Palmer, we have additional tickets to be added to the suspension list?
The revised version.
The revised version?
The revised.
Are these add or revised?
It is, I'm going to
Entire
actually.
revised list.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
It's the list in its entirety instead of just pointing out the one
Okay.
that there's a correction to because it is a bankruptcy, so we can't discuss it.
Right.
So we just went ahead and presented the list in its entirety
revision.
as it should be,
Okay.
yes.
Yes.
Move for approval as revised.
Second.
It's been properly moved and seconded for approval. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you. The other thing I did want to mention is that we have moved the tax sale
to the commission chambers right here. I've spoken with Renetta. We've made arrangements. We just feel that with the equipment that you have, that we will be able to videotape and record it for permanent record. It'll be a lot easier for everyone, and I think the location is more accessible. So I'm requesting that the Dominion Post please put that in the paper so that people will know to come here on Monday, November the 6th, beginning at 9 a.m.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anything else? Okay, hearing none, we'll move on. West Virginia Peers Working Group, project overview. Do we have a representative?
Warning, danger, danger.
Yes. I turned everything on. Okay, since we have nobody here to represent them, we shall move on. Mr. Giambrone, I believe you have a report?
Morning.
Yes.
Morning.
Your abandoned and dilapidated and property enforcement agency requests to move a property owned by Jackie Gum, District 4, map 17, parcel 35 to the complaint stage. We have a complete history, follow-up with it, pictures as of Monday that go with the file. It started 9/14/16, and it still hasn't been completed. And so we'd like to move that to complaint.
Stage.
Move for approval?
Second.
Been properly moved and seconded for approval to move to complaint stage. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Are there any others? Okay.
Mr. Prosnick had showed up.
Just been-
Very one tomorrow, so. let's
Good.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Correspondence.
I have one.
Okay.
Dear Commissioners, I am sending evidence of the historical walk in a letter from the former president of the commission concerning the schedule and the locator for the historical brick walk. Even though some of the founders of the historical walk are deceased, I do not think they should be forgotten and deleted from the history of Monongalia County. I am sure that the Commissioners, agreeing that this is the right thing to do, can find a prominent place to remember the founders of the historic brick walk. Also, the marker on the monuments, which were part of the Veterans Memorial Plaza, should be put in place. 3 of those persons who established that monument area are deceased, but that does not mean they should be forgotten. Please let me know what you intend to do, as several of the descendants have called me asking about the matter. Having served on the commission for 18 years, I am aware of the difficult decisions you have to make on a weekly basis, but this seems to be one decision which should be small compared to many others you make every day. I will be looking forward to a decision on the matter. John Piles. P.S. The locator and schedule of bricks was not placed earlier, and the founders of the walk were not placed earlier because of the uncertainty of what the commission was going to do in renovating the Courthouse Square.
Thank you. Is there any other correspondence?
No, sir.
Thank you. Hearing none, we'll move to unfinished business. Is there any unfinished business before the group?
No, sir.
Okay. Moving on to new business. Consider signing the annual lease agreement for vehicles owned by the Monongalia County Health Department that are covered under the County Commission's general liability insurance policy.
Move for approval with discussion?
Second.
Been properly moved and second for approval and discussion. Thank you.
Okay, so
Go
this
ahead.
is the leasing of the vehicles to the county so that we can insure the vehicles. It's a nominal amount, but this should actually go away as we move to leasing vehicles, because the vehicles will all be titled to us. So that won't be an issue going forward. So we'll have to do this for a couple more years, but it will gradually disappear going forward.
Any other discussion? Hearing none. All in favor? Aye. Thank you. Second, request by the West Virginia Peers Working Group for a letter of support to submit with funding applications for combating opioid overdose through community-level intervention being funded by the Office of National Drug Control Policy. In as much as West Virginia Peers did not choose to.
Maybe they confused. Well, I'll move to approve with discussion.
Yeah, second,
All
can we
right,
have
then
the,
properly
can we
moved
have?
in second for discussion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
because the letter is actually written
Yeah.
on behalf of Sober Living
Okay.
Incorporated, so I'm not sure of the, I'm assuming they're part of the peers group, so
Right.
I don't know if we're comparing apples with apples in regards to who was supposed to be here in relation to who's asking for this letter.
And for clarification, they had requested us to support it, but we have a procedure that we go through a work session and then put it on the agenda. So we did officially do the work session, and it's basically the same presentation and program. They didn't get it funded last year, so it's just asking for it to be resubmitted again. So I don't foresee a problem with it if the others.
No, I don't see a
Yeah.
problem with it.
Okay.
It's been properly moved in second for approval. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. Lastly, to consider sending the county commission's employee handbook for review by outside legal counsel for its annual review.
Move for approval with discussion.
Second?
Properly moved and seconded. Discussion?
I just think this is something that we can do, and I believe they would do it for free to review it. And I also think we have the health department's employee, he got a CD on that, so they
Yes.
would review that too. And again, I think it just opens up and clarifies areas that we need to look at since the law keeps changing, and we don't want to be sued and call the prosecuting attorney in to support us. So we're trying to prevent this. So I think it's a real progressive attitude rather than waiting till after regressive.
I agree. In relation to, this all came out
Yes.
as a meeting we had with our insurance agent last week in a working session. And part of that, we also talked about the cybersecurity coverage, which
Yes.
is a up-and-coming area that really most individuals, most entities are severely undercovered. So I had two meetings. I had one with our IT department to
good.
discuss it, and then we had a meeting with the insurance agent this morning. So we're going to finalize that application and send it off to them. But the important thing is it covers a whole gamut of areas in regards to procedures we have in place to cover certain incidents. And again, we're way ahead of the curve as far as most government or even business entities, but it will also help us because as the part of being our agent, they will provide some
Exactly.
best practices in regards to those areas so that we can actually put a whole comprehensive IT policy in place that makes sure that we cover all those issues.
I
So
will-
I just want to update you on that cyber part.
Yeah.
I will correct one thing now.
Sure.
The consideration is outside legal counsel. This is not something to be done for free. This is a hired entity that we will be having as a legal review.
I thought initially.
Well, when we talked, he talked about reviewing,
Yeah.
we had discussed, you're right, we had discussed at a meeting about contacting outside legal counsel, and they suggest that, but they also said that they would look at the health
They-
departments. The agent would look at the health departments for us. So we do need to clarify that.
Okay.
Yeah, because
Okay,
basically the motion, is based on outside legal counsel.
Legal counsel. Yeah, that's step two. Okay, that's fine.
So we're fine with this?
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
It's been properly moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Is there any other new business before this group?
There
Yes.
is.
Yes.
We received the traveler's proposal for general liability insurance.
Yes.
For beginning November 2, 2017 to November 1. The premium's going to be $665. No, $665,171.
This is a renewal of the
Yes.
Yes.
policy.
Move for approval with clarification, yeah.
Second.
Been
And this-
properly moved and seconded.
Yeah. And this was also discussed at a
Yes.
work session, and it just was slipped off, but it's just a renewal for clarification. And we did put out bids, but this was the best. Okay.
Been properly moved and second for approval of this contract. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Any other new business?
No, sir.
Hearing none, we'll go to reports from elected officials. Is there any elected official that wishes to give a report? I see we still have some in the room. Hearing none, we'll move to reports from county commissioners. Tom?
Yeah, three quick ones. First, Ed and I were fortunate to attend the grand opening of Colasantes, and I said life is good and normal back in Westover. So, I mean, I'm just really glad they're open,
Yes.
and I'm very appreciative. Second thing, I would ask to put on the agenda work session next week, we received a letter from In Touch and Concern, and there's some concerns they had, and I'd like them to come before us and explain the situation, and then the three of us come up with a solution. So that would be two. The third thing, every once in a while you get surprised, and this morning I received a letter, and a real positive, and I want to mention this so it's on the record. 4 sixth graders from South Middle School came up with an idea called Trick or Treat for the Needy. They went around Brookhaven, and instead of collecting candy, they collect food for the South Middle School pantry. And the 4 young ladies, Grace Duvall, Isabel Duvall, Emily Peterson, and Lauren Howe, went and did this, and they want to continue this each year and expand it. And I thought it was just such a unique idea that we knew nothing. It really blew me away because they came up with the idea, they developed it, and given back to the community. And I just wanted to thank them for, them and their parents for what they're doing, and hopefully we can continue this. It's just a really neat concept. Trick or treat for the needy they came up with.
Excellent.
It was a neat idea. Thank you.
Thanks for sharing that with you. I know 3 of those young
Oh, do you?
ladies, they play in the softball league, so I can attest that they're good kids, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I wish that the peers group would have been here, because I wanted to hear an overview of where their project stands. Could you request or seek why they weren't here, and then ask them to come on a future, get back on the schedule?
Yeah.
It's a pretty busy week. We have we're actually, then next week heads into a really busy week. And as I said earlier, I had a number of meetings with the IT department, one working on the website RFP, and then the other 2 were dealing with this insurance issue. But, and we have our forum tonight, our community leaders forum. Hope to see all the elected officials there. Other than that, I'm going to keep it short today.
Yeah, it's always sad, speaking last, I have to check off everything that everybody else has said. I did represent commission at the PACE Awards dinner, or excuse me, presentation, it wasn't a dinner, last Friday. It's really great to see what started out as a mother's love grow into what it has grown today. This is a great enterprise. It's really, really something to be there. Didn't meet personally with the DOH at Mason-Dixon Park concerning the fire hydrant out there. Solid Waste Authority, a meeting was Monday. And I did have a lunch with our Chief Judge, Claudius, this week. And we have Thursday, the Milan Park Awards Dinner. I knew there was awards dinner coming up, which I believe all the commissioners will be in attendance. So there are great things happening at Milan Park. Really, this is a very vibrant community that we have in Monongalia County. So I think there's a lot of things that we should all be very proud of. So that is cause for celebration. Hearing nothing else, I will accept the motion for adjournment.
Move to adjourn.
Second.
Properly moved and seconded. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
We are adjourned. Thank you.